Hey guys! So today I filmed my 5-minute get ready with me look that I use almost every single day. Nothing crazy, there's no baking, no contouring. I don't even carve out my eyebrows. I'm not very precise with anything. It's just super quick, but it gets the job done. I just really focus on making sure my skin looks really healthy and that I look awake. Those are my two main goals. And then I threw in my favorite hairstyle for you guys that I like to throw in when I'm walking out the door. I love just having a super messy look for my hair for whatever reason. I always have, just probably because it's easy. But if you guys want to see how to get this look and see what products I used, then let's just get started.
Okay, so I started out with my Sonia Kashuk foundation. I've been loving this foundation lately. I've had it about 2 weeks and I have been wearing it almost every single day. It is a matte finish, but it's satin and it leaves the skin looking so healthy. It's definitely my second favorite foundation from the drugstore. The first favorite of all time would definitely be Maybelline Matte Fit. It's like, wait, what is it? Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless. That is definitely a good one. But as you can see, I'm buffing this into my skin, really pressing it into the skin and making sure it gets the full coverage that I want. I have been breaking out a little bit lately, not sure why, but I definitely just needed the extra coverage today. So I'm really just making sure I press that into my skin. And I'm going to follow up with a Maybelline Age Rewind concealer. I'm just going to put that underneath my eyes, my forehead, down the nose, and my chin. And then just buff that all out with my Real Techniques beauty blender or makeup sponge. I love these more than the beauty blender, and they're so much cheaper. You can get like 2 of these at Ulta for like 10 bucks. I'm definitely not being precise with this at all, just because when you are in a hurry, you just definitely want to make sure you have the coverage and that everything looks nice and even, but definitely don't worry about spending too much time because the sponge will do all the work. Then I'm going to go in with the Shade and Light palette by Kat Von D, and I'm just going to use the first 2 shades in the palette. As you'll see here in just a second, I pointed to definitely the wrong shade. I'm not using the peachy shade, I'm just using the first 2 shades in the palette. And I'm just going to mix those 2 just to set my concealer, bring some light to the center of my face, and then that way I don't have to worry throughout the day if my concealer is running or creasing. It always looks flawless. Then I'm going to go in with my NYX blotting powder and just set the rest of my face in the areas where I didn't use the Kat Von D palette. That way I just make sure that everything is nice and set, and then my bronzer doesn't look splotchy when I go to apply that. I'm going to use the L'Oreal Glam Bronze in the shade Medium, and I'm not going to contour anything today. I'm literally just putting this underneath my cheekbones and dragging it up towards the temples just to bring some warmth to the face and kind of highlight the cheekbones and the outer perimeters of the face. I'm going to do it along the forehead, a little bit down the nose, and then underneath the chin and the jawline. I'm not contouring or anything like that. I'm just making sure that my face looks multi-dimensional, especially since I did use the concealer in the center. I'm also going to use that same bronzer and add some depth to my eyes. I'm really just going to focus this in the crease and then drag it up and then down onto the lid. Definitely do not need to be precise with this. Just make sure that it's blended, there's no harsh lines, and then just move on. Don't spend too much time on this. I mean, it literally is just to bring some color and some warmth to the eyes. Sometimes I don't even do this step, but I feel like when I do, it just adds that extra little punch that I need to make sure that I look extra awake that day. And it just makes me feel a little bit more put together. I'm also going to put it underneath my lower lash line just to make sure everything looks nice and symmetrical. If I put eyeshadow on my crease, I always want to make sure I smoke out the bottom just a little bit just to make sure that it looks nice and even. Then I'm going to go with my favorite blush ever, which is the CoverGirl blush in the shade Classic Pink. This has been around forever and I've been using this for as long as I can remember, but it is definitely a favorite of mine. I just want to make sure that I bring a lot of color to my cheeks. I feel like the pink is the best for everyday makeup. I'm going to go with the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector in the shade Champagne Pop by Jaclyn Hill. This has been my go-to highlighter for almost 2 years, I would say. Maybe like a year and a half, I'm not exactly sure, but it's been a long time. And I'm just going to put this on my cheekbones, my Cupid's bow down the center of my nose, and then I'm actually going to use that and highlight my tear ducts and underneath my brow bone right after I do my eyebrows. And so I'm just going to go with my Anastasia Beverly Hills brow definer in this shade Soft Brown. I'm going to really just focus towards the end of my brows just because they are a little bit sparse in some areas. I'm not really going to draw them out or fill them in like I would if I was doing a super dramatic look. I feel like it just looks better on me if I'm doing a soft look that day that my brows are soft as well, because you don't want anything to be too harsh, especially when you don't have a lot of makeup on. And as soon as I have that all blended out, I'm going to also use the Anastasia Beverly Hills Clear Brow Gel just to set my eyebrow hairs. Do you say eyebrow hairs? Eyebrows? You know what I mean. I have some crazy strays every now and then, so I just always make sure I set those just to make sure I don't have to worry about them going whatever way they want that day. That stuff is awesome. It keeps everything in place. And like I said, I'm just going to use the Champagne Pop highlighter in my tear ducts and on my brow bone just to make everything look lifted and make sure I look nice and awake. Then I'm just going to quickly curl my lashes. I always curl my lashes. I just feel like it adds so much volume. And I'm going to go in with the Tarte Man Eater mascara. This mascara is amazing. It gives you the look of falsies as far as the volume without you actually having to put falsies on, which is what every girl wants, I feel like. And I always go in with 2 or 3 coats because might just be me, but I'm into, sometimes I love chunky lashes. I feel like if your lashes look good, then your whole face just kind of looks better. Then just because the brush is so tiny and I love it, I'm going to go with the Maybelline Lash Discovery. It is waterproof in the shade, I think it's Black is Black. And I'm just going to put that on my lower lashes. It just helps me to be a lot more precise than with a bigger mascara brush. Then I'm going with the Living Proof Dry Shampoo. I use several different dry shampoos. This is just the one that was in the front of my cabinet this morning, so I grabbed it. And I just always let that sit for about 30 seconds before I go to style my hair. This dry shampoo smells amazing and it doesn't leave any white residue. Like if you don't brush it all out or work it all in, it's not like somebody can tell that you're actually wearing dry shampoo, which is awesome because some of them do if you don't take the time to really work them in. And this is just my go-to hairstyle for when I'm in a hurry. I always tease the back of my head or the crown of my head, and then I just braid it quickly. Nothing has to be precise or even symmetrical. I just make sure that I feel like the messier and bigger my hair is, the more I like it. So this is why this is one of my favorite hairstyles when I'm in a really big hurry. And I always pull out the braids a little bit too, just to make it look a little bit more messy. And then I'm just going to go with my favorite setting spray of all time. I just wanted to give my mascara time to dry. I'm just going to set my makeup. And that completes this easy 5-minute look, guys. I hope to see you in my next video. Thanks for watching.